Placemakers dedicated to building community at scale in cities across America in ways that are responsible, equitable, and transformational.
It's because this is a place of learning, this is a place of teaching, this is a place especially of community and coming together.
Not just because it's a collection of buildings, but it's a collection of impact.
You guys ready to start this show? All right. You guys, we've got a very, very special guest coming up here, the founder of Rollerwave, Mr. Harry Martin. Everybody put your hands together. And the man of the hour. You know him. You love him. No Pics After Dark, Mr. Aaron Dante!
Check.
All right, we're live.
Let's
Thank
go.
you guys for showing up this evening. This has been long in the making. If you guys were at the show in August, give it a round of applause. So I was fortunate enough to interview Miss Mary Ann Gill Martin, who's the head of MAG Partners. And we did an interview here about 2 buildings down. And at the end of the show, she said, Aaron, I want you to do a show here live, 6 live shows here. And I said, you're joking. And she's like, I'll pay for the booze and the spot. I'm like, sold. So literally this has been going on since August and making this happen in December. So we are finally here. I'm looking around and I see all the people I love, I appreciate, people who I respect, people who are great creatives, doctors, lawyers, nurses, but it's a beautiful thing to see everybody here. So give you guys a round of applause for coming out tonight. I want to give a shout out to people tonight from United Way. United Way is one of my biggest sponsors. Give them a shout out. I saw some people that they read the book, well, not read the book, but they read the information. They brought books and toys for the kids for United Way for the holiday. So thank you guys for bringing whoever brought those for your kids for Christmas time or Hanukkah or whatever it may be. Thank you so much for bringing them because that's really important. They're one of our important sponsors. And if you guys want to do something cool for Service Day for MLK, we'll be doing something United Way, MLK, or Service Day. So please let me know. Couple more housekeeping things real quick before, because Ashley Cotton was like, you guys say it before. Don't get me in trouble over there. It's not going to She's not looking up. Ashley's not here. Ashley's in New York. So I got to make sure I say a couple quick things. I know you guys heard, if you were on the news, that the Ravens are going to be down here. They're going to have a little office down here. So it's pretty cool. They're going to have a complex here. Ben & Jerry's is going to be down here. Black-owned female lobster shop is going to be down here, which is really cool. Hopefully another business owner who's here might be down here also. I'm not going to say who she is, but I hope she makes it down here. She's in the room right now. And also, just, Peggy Cole's coming also. So if everybody knows Slutty Vegan, she'll be here. So I'm just going to give you guys a 401 of what's going on down here. Everybody else, like, it's a ghost city. It takes time to build things. I don't know if you remember when Harbor East started. There was nothing there. And Harbor East took a while to build up. And if you knew what Harbor East looked before, you'd be like, yeah, you understand. So it wasn't what you think it is right now. So again, Rollerwave, I'm happy you're here, sir. I'm glad we're going to make this happen. So we did all the crazy. We got all the legal stuff out the way.
Of course.
Stuff out the way. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, brother.
Of course, brother.
I mean, we're here, New York. Finally came to take the train from New York. Literally got off the train from New York, got down here.
Just now, man.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But we have a mutual colleague.
Yeah.
Weird story how this happens. We decided to do an interview with Rollerwave. And Alex, who's another owner back there, he's like, I got to have you meet one of my partners. So I'm like, all right, man, like, whatever. I'm just down here to talk to y'all and really get the vibe of how you guys are feeling. I haven't seen this guy in 20 years in college, so that's tell you my age. So literally 20 years ago, that's the last time I seen the other partner, Khalid, who is also another partner of Rollerwave. And so it was meant to be to interview these guys, and it was great just to be a part of this situation and having the first show here with you brothers. So thank you so much.
Of course, man.
Appreciate you. Hey, somebody give me a sweat towel back there. I'm a little sweat here. Y'all know how I sweat. Y'all know how I sweat like a preacher on Sunday. You know how it is. So let's talk about you. Like, give people a little bit of background about who you are and like just the Rollerwave bounce and how you got to it.
So basically, I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, they gonna say it down here. They gonna say BK.
I know, not out here, man, but it's funny though, because I have parents, and my dad, his family, he's from Bowie, Maryland. So
Prince George's.
Yeah, so I used to come out here when I was a kid too. Like I spent a lot of my summers out in Maryland, Baltimore, and stuff like that.
And did you ever think you would come back to Baltimore or something like this?
Definitely not. I mean, when we came, it was just my mom, my dad, they shipped us off with our aunts out here in Baltimore. But it was funny because my cousins, like, we would just go out and, like, just play stupid games in the street and, like, just making a random stuff because it was nothing to do out here in Baltimore for us at that time, especially coming from Brooklyn, New York. Like, we had the stores, we had Empire Skating Rink, we had this, like, right around the corner from us, but coming in here, like, we really had to be creative. And I think I actually spent some of my best summers here, and like we did North Carolina some years and then Baltimore some years, but Baltimore's was so much fun.
Yeah, so I grew up in Baltimore, and I remember we used to go to Shake and Bake a lot.
Okay.
On Pennsylvania Avenue. And then we got a little bit bougie and went to Towson. But I always remember my roots of Shake and Bake and how I was back in the day. And then going to Towson. I always remember literally my last time skating I was like in a race, and I was in first place. And I hit that corner. I bust my ass and was like lost. And I was like,
okay,
I'm not skating no more.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of like you remember all the horror stories?
Yeah.
And I broke my arm too, so I remember that too. So that's why I haven't skated yet since.
Okay.
But I'm gonna watch y'all skate tonight. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna cheer from the
skate.
sideline tonight. I didn't bring my elbow pads and stuff tonight. No. But so tell us a little bit about you though. Like, I mean, you live in Brooklyn. Were you always a skater growing up? I mean, tell us a little bit about you.
I wasn't really a skater growing up, but I grew up in Crown Heights, and literally right around the corner from where I grew up was Empire Roller Skating Rink. As a kid, we rode bikes. We went to the roller skating rink. They actually had a bowling alley around the rink, around the way too, that we went to. But Empire was something that we did in school. So it was after school activity, summer camp, we would go there. And I just remember that just kind of being like, for me, because I was always a shy kid. So where I met like the girl that I really like in class, I see her at Empire roller skating rink, so I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to roller skate backwards now, just so she thinks I'm cool, you know. So it's cheesy, but you know.
That's the 80s. That's 80s, right? That's the 80s, right? 80 early.
Nah,
early 80s?
that was like early, like 2000.
Oh, that's 2000. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, early 2000. Probably 90s, like late 90s, early 2000, around that time.
Okay.
But that was this thing. I remember like Peaches and Cream was out by 112.
Oh, yeah.
That was the jam. So you know, when
great
they,
song.
it's a great song. When it, but as a kid, when they tell you, you know, go outside, we need the couples only, we out there. You know what I'm talking about. But I just feel like those times it kind of like really brought me out of my shell too, and like brought me to more creativity, really understanding myself, because like, I was just really quiet. Like I really don't like talking to people too much, but in group settings and community, that's when I kind of like shine a little bit more, because then, you know, I want to be great. I want other people to be great too. And I think with Empire Roller Skating Rink, teaching people how to skate now, like I learned something, I'll teach you. Somebody learned something, they teach me. And that was just the thing at that time. And then also when I became a teenager, Empire Roller Skating Rink for me was where we partied at, because 13, 14-year-olds, we didn't have anywhere to party.
Yeah, I mean, because you didn't have a mall to go to.
We didn't have a mall. You know, so I remember my mom dropping me off with my little brother and saying, watch your little brother. And that was just my thing until I got to high school. Now it's like, I don't need my little brother no more. Mom, I'm going outside. This is where I'm at. All of my friends from school is here. And, you know, it just really like got me out of my shell more, you know?
I love that. So what was one of your like first gig, like jobs, like, you know, at like got older, like, because I know roller skating came back. You were doing something before that, correct?
Yeah, so actually, so like you said, your colleague in college, Khalid, I was working with him. I was doing tour management, so he would go out on the road with the band, and actually one of the band members was my cousin, Telly from Ninja Sonic. You know how Khalid is. He wants to just like spearhead everything. He don't want to move around too much, and then the guys are really crazy. But for me, I was like 21, 22 years old, so I just loved the life. Like I'm like, free ticket to go to Spain and to watch the band and get him into, you know, a bar or whatever, and then working out the numbers. He was just like kind of like coaching me through all of that stuff, and that was my thing for a while.
You know, I mean, Khalid in college was that business dude. He was always about the numbers. So I know how he rolls. So
Yeah.
I wish he was here tonight, but definitely hit me up early.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he coming up here? Cause he can tell some college stories about me, so we're gonna speed this up real quick. We're gonna speed this up real quick, but no, he's a really sharp brother, and
Yep.
if you worked with him, I already know what time it was.
Yeah, definitely. Also, too, working with him, like I was just studying him, and also I just looked like he put a lot onto himself as well at that time, and I don't know, I was kind of admired by that, like the things he would do as a manager. I'm like, this is what you have to go through, and he was just like that kind of guy, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to do this, but for me, I'm 22 years old. I'm like, I can do that plus do this.
He was with Lil Wayne and them for a while, right?
He was with Lil Wayne for a while. Yeah,
doing it, yeah.
a lot of big artists. So we was definitely around those circuits, like going on tour and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I said, I followed him from afar, but I knew it was like he's doing some big things. So when
Yeah.
I saw him here, I'm like, what are you doing in Baltimore? He's like, what are you? He's like, I said, you know these exact words. Alex can tell you. He said, if you here, it's gonna be something lit. So I said,
Yeah.
we're gonna make something happen. And
Correct.
that's exactly what he said. And if you look around right now, we got a great, beautiful, diverse crowd here.
Correct.
I'm just happy that everybody's here to enjoy themselves, and listen to this story. So, how did you come back to roller skating? Like, because it was a vibe. I'm not gonna lie. I found myself stuck on TikTok during during COVID, like watching the roller skating out in West Coast. And there's a brother that's from Prince George's County that wears these Maryland skates, and he's in LA, and he's like one of the dopest skaters. And like I was literally stuck watching him on TikTok every week, because they would go to different skate parks in LA. You know, everybody's outside out there. COVID was like whatever.
When was that though, Aaron?
It was one of those beaches out there.
Venice Beach,
Venice Beach,
I'm pretty sure.
And they had
But
like
what year was that?
2019, 20, around that
Okay.
time period. And this guy was big in skating. I was watching during the pandemic, like, damn, I want to pick some skates up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm too old for that. I can't do that no more.
It's crazy. So basically, what brought me to roller skating, I would say after we did our tour management stuff, the band kind of disassembled, and it was time for me to find other things to do. I dropped out of college, so it was just like, what do I do now? Do I go back to school and figure that out? I think at that point, I think it was around like 2014, I was just kind of, I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had nothing. I'm like, damn, I lived like a great life. You know, I had my own apartment, 2 cars at 20 years old. You know, we having all these thoughts about what we're going to do and it's going to continue, but not having those degrees and different things like that kind of like put me into a dark place. So I just went through depression. And with the depression, I kind of became an avid trainer. Like, I was training myself. I ran marathons in the gym every day. Then I started working in the gym as a martial arts teacher, started training other folks at the time. It was great. But I was still depressed at the time, you know, like, and at that point I didn't know how depressed I really was. It wasn't until 2015, my mom, she took me to one of her co-workers' company parties. And I know every year she did a huge event. So she'll rent out the penthouse at the W Hotel, all kind of extravaganzas, open bar, you know, fun stuff. I came from the promoting life, so that's fun to me. You know, but this year she was like, I'm doing a roller skating party. I'm like, roller skating? Who the hell do that anymore? I'm like, yo, I didn't do roller skating since I was a kid. And I thought that was like a past thing, especially in New York. Like, we don't have any local roller skating rinks. So after Empire closed their doors April 21st, 2007, I just thought it was just like over with. And like, that's just what we did as kids. So moving forward, I went to this party with her. They're Russians. She rented out the bar, so it was open bar. What was it? Stochi? What is it? What's the Russian drink? the Stoli, yeah, Stoli. So it was all Stoli. We drinking. Everybody getting lit at the spot. Nobody, yeah, it's like straight vodka. These are Russian. A long night, but a fun night. They're not a party though, definitely. I was having a great time, but I noticed nobody went to the roller skating rink. Everybody drinking Stoli, everybody tipsy, but I'm like, you did this whole roller skating event for your birthday and nobody goes to the rink? So me and my mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to get on the skates. I haven't skated since I was a kid. She used to skate, so we went out there, and the DJ was playing house music. She loves house music. I love house music. I went out there. We was just like, I didn't know how to skate, but it's like muscle memory, like how we ride our bikes. Like, I was still skating, but I'm like, nah, when I was a kid, I knew how to go backwards. I knew how to jump in the air. I didn't know how to do any of those things. But I was really trying, but then I'm also drunk off the Stoli. Nah, but I was really having a good time, though. And it was also just me and her and then the house music DJ. So it was just like a bonding time with Mom, myself, having a good time. From that day, I'm like, and also, too, we was in Prospect Park. I didn't even know they had a skating rink in there. Yeah, it was super nice, man. So every day after that, like I told you, I worked in the gym. Before I went to work, I went to that skate park, and I was, like, practicing. I just wanted to push myself off the wall and go backwards again. Because now I'm like, I got to get those grooves back. I got to get back into myself. And I started doing that every day. Started practicing, like skating, you know, doing my little spins and just like really getting into the music because I do love music as well. As far as like me being a tour manager, like on tour, I used to like play old school barbecue music, and everybody be like, they used to call me Studio 50H, which this book is crazy, Studio 54 right here. But everybody called me Studio 58 because they like, why are you playing disco music, bro? Like, and I'm like, this is what I love. It's the essence. But the roller skating was fitness because then it's cardio. Because remember, I told you I was running too. It was cardio for me. And then the music, it was great because then I get to hear what I want. So now I'm like doing the best of everything I love. And then I remember in 2015, I used to go to the skating rink every day. And that was really saving me through my depression. I was really starting to feel whole again, just being there, just practicing, or just being one with myself. It was kind of like a meditation for me as well. So that meditation kind of was just like bringing like life back to me. I didn't care to go out. I didn't care to do anything nobody else wanted to do. I was like, I found something that I'm creative at, that I like. And then I started going to these like parties on Friday nights, which were dope. It was cool. Top 40. And then I was like, I can do it better, you know? And then I think that's when the Rollerwave started.
The Rollerwave style. I love that. I really do. And I really appreciate you opening up about that. I mean, a lot of people can't talk about depression and whatnot, and that's really a stigma, you know, especially the black community, for males to talk about things of that nature. So thank you for talking about that. It's really important.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I think growing up, especially as a black male too, being from the community, from the hood, like, we just taught to be tough. And whatever you're going through, stick up and just poke your chest out and get through it. But it's like, I needed to talk to people too at that time. I needed to talk to myself. I needed to really like figure out. And like, I think with the roller skating too, I was able to open up and be a little bit more vulnerable too, because I was doing something that was like super weird, goofy a little bit. So it's just like, I'm doing that already. I might, let's go down the rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be even more vulnerable and like really opening up because, you know, growing up, I don't know, I felt like I was like the man, golden goose, being on tour at 20 years old, cars, my own apartment in the Lower East Side. I thought I was a man, and nobody knew, and I didn't even know, you know, what was really affecting me at that time. But now I think even when I went through the depression, I didn't even know I was depressed until I found roller skating and was able to even open up to myself, because then that is hard too, because sometimes we'll just be blindly, you know, going crazy, you know, drinking ourselves to death, doing drugs or whatever it may be, but not really getting down to the root of the problem. And I think that was one thing I was really doing, like just being blinded. I remember friends telling me too, like, this is not the same Harry, the same H I know. And I was really trying to still be that same person for everybody, you know. But I just went through a different time. It was a dark time, but it was also a great time too, because it kind of led me down a path to like really figure out myself, you know, more lightness, start being more creative and Rollerwave, you know.
Let's talk about Rollerwave. How did it launch off? What happened? Tell us how it all happened.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So I was going to these parties every Friday night at Prospect Park. It was top 40 every Friday. I just remember going to these parties. I went every Friday for years, probably for like a year or so. Not for years, I'm bugging. I was having a good time. The music wasn't all that, but I still grooved to it. I didn't mind. But I remember too, I was just kind of one of the only African Americans that was at this party. And the host of the party, I noticed a friend came up to me and told me, like, you don't notice that she's acknowledging everybody else in his room, but you come every Friday. Have you ever said hi to her? Has she ever come up to you? I didn't. I was like, no. At that point, I didn't really care, but she kind of opened my eyes. And then the same woman, I followed her to Coney Island. She did like a pop-up in Coney Island. I went, and it was me and another African-American brother that used to frequent her events on Fridays. we both went, and it was like a capacity problem on the floor, so we couldn't skate. But me and his brother, we come every Friday, and she just kind of disregarded us a little bit too, and told us we have to wait, and I'm like, we came all the way to Coney Island to come skate to this, this far. So then it really started sticking in my head too, what my friend was telling me. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? This music is boring anyway. The vibe over here is boring. Everything was just trash. So I'm like, she really don't know who I am. I can do this better, And I started really seeking and searching into more roller skating activities that was going on in the city. And I found the underground roller skating gym. So it was a Salvation Army makeshift gym, makeshift church. It was weird, but they were skating there, and it was the demographic was around 40 to 70-year-olds in there. But I thought it was cool, and there was African American in there too, even though if it was only 10 of them going on a Friday night, that's what they were doing. So I don't know if you guys know about the Central Park roller disco skaters, but they've been skating there for decades though. But those are my people now though, But it was really them and a short crew. So I'm like, all right, I used to be a promoter. I used to be a tour manager. Started putting all my wits together, and what I did was I started my first party at that space. I asked the owner, I'm like, yo, dude, can I do something here? And he was like, cool, I'll give you a night. He gave me a Friday night, the first night. And I remember I just went to all my friends, just reached out to all my resources, anybody I knew in the promoter business, DJs, everybody that's cool kids in the Lower East Side, Soho. Reached out to everybody. I'm doing a roller skating party. I need you guys there. And, just for the love, I guess, of me, because I've always been a cool dude hanging around the city and just doing my thing. Everybody, I guess, loved me. I had a line around the corner, so 300 people, mixed, diverse, Caucasian, Asian, African American, Latin. Everybody came over and they came to this gym. And then from there, we started doing bi-weekly parties at the gym every other week. And we had a crowd of 200 people. And then I remember the Daily News came to shoot it. It was just a big thing in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So I basically turned whatever they had into something more for the community. Because, at that time too, Bed-Stuy is now diverse, of course. I was trying to use the right words.
No, because I remember going. No, I remember going to Bed-Stuy, and it was Ride or Die Bed-Stuy, and it was not. You couldn't walk through. You couldn't walk through Bed-Stuy. I had cousins who lived there, and it was yeah, I'm not really trying to roll down there. It was different.
No, Aaron, you're definitely right about that.
I'm being real. That's what it is.
Nah, you're being real.
It's totally different. Prospect Park? Oh, it's total. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some parts. Some parts.
No, but it was definitely like that. It wasn't. But I came from the world of understanding different worlds. Like I said, I hung out on the Lower East Side. I hung out in Soho. So I hung out with punk kids, disco kids, all these different crowds, So when I did my first events, it was diverse. So now you have the Caucasian kids seeing that there's a line. They're seeing their people on the line. Then you have the Asians. They see their people on the line. African Americans, they see their people on the line. So now everybody feels comfortable, because you can imagine if you go to if you just walking by a party and you just see all African Americans, as a Caucasian or Latino, I'm gonna be like, all right, that's an African American thing. But just to see all these different walks of life going there, that's what happened at this Salvation Army. And then I remember from there, it was just diverse every week, and that's how we had the New York Times come in, because somebody that might live around the corner could be a journalist for them, and then they came and did this write-up, and it was just a lot of that going on. bi-weekly. And then at one point, I just got into like this whole business mode because when I first did my business deal with the manager, he was giving me $5 a ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much was the ticket?
He was selling tickets for $20. But he was like doing videos. He's taking pictures. He was like creating his own vibe. And I'm like, damn, I'm the one bringing the people.
Right. He was
You know,
stealing the
he
vibe,
was just, he wasn't really stealing the vibe. The vibe was always me. But
I like that.
I just thought what was going on though, like I wasn't thinking about business though at that time. I was really thinking about the community and how I felt what roller skating did for me and brought me through my dark times. What is it going to do for these people that's coming in? So I didn't really pay attention for a long time, you know.
So I remember reading that you guys sold out outside of Barclays. You guys were the hottest spot outside of Barclays. Tell us about Barclays. I mean, that's a hot area. I love the area. But to sell out, that's pretty dope in that area, though.
Yeah, Barclays was amazing, man. So I just remember the opening night, just having that, like, the community, they look at me as a staple because during the pandemic, I've done free events. Like, I always go back to, like, just doing free stuff and really paying attention to the community and the needs and not really thinking about myself, which can be bad sometimes. But I built like this like strong community. So when the Barclays happened, you know, I worked with Alex Scott, with Jennifer Scott, Khalid, you know, they invested into that project. Now it's like the community is like, Harry has a whole venue. It's 24,000 square feet. And I remember the first night, people were having like Rollerwave pre-parties. Yeah, because, you know, they was just really coming out to support me and like what I was doing for the past couple of years beforehand because, you know, I was making it accessible for people to skate, accessible for people to build communities and things like that. And then that night, the line was literally wrapped around the corner, like double time. And it was crazy because I was working all day. Like we was still like preparing the space the day of and nothing was done. And I'm the type of person, like, I want to stay until it's done because I want this to look great. Like I'm thinking as I go through all of the steps. And when I left the venue, I went back home. My family was at the house. We all like just chilling. I'm taking a shower now, getting like fresh, fly, like just to go out. I go back to the space. The line is crazy. All my people outside, and the security guards like, Harry, do not go to that door, because they were they were bone rushing the door, like. And it was like one of my friends. Her name is Robin. She's like 85 years old. And she's like, she loves skating. Like she's a diehard, and she's a diehard Rollerwave fan. But she was like screaming at the security guard, like, I know Harry. And it was crazy because all I'm thinking about, he told me not to come to the door, and I came by for a second. I seen her, and I kind of like walked back in a little bit. I shouldn't have did that, you know. That night too, a lot of people didn't get in. Like a lot of the people that were having parties beforehand didn't get in because it started becoming something else. Like Fabio Foreign and all of these like artists started. The hip hop scene came in. It was the biggest thing in town, you know. But also it was just like a homecoming for like what we do for our community. The Rollerwave, and like just showing like all of the support we can get and will get from doing something great, you know. So,
how did you end up in Baltimore? Like how did let's get here. How did we get here?
So we ended up in Baltimore because basically we were working with the project managers over in Atlantic Terminal, Barclay Center. So the same liaison, she works for the team out here in Baltimore with the Baltimore Mag team.
Is that Crystal?
Is that Crystal? Yes,
Crystal,
that is
yeah,
Crystal.
Okay, Crystal, okay.
Crystal is like my girl, man. Like, she just, seeing what happened with that space. So what Crystal's seen at Atlantic Terminal, I think what she had in her mind is we just gonna come in and have some speakers, have a couple of skates, and do a little bit of party. But with my grand idea, I'm like, no, we finally getting a space. Alex got he came in bringing the money and things. I'm like, this is what I want. We need the arcade center. We need the VIP. We need the bar. We need the stage. Like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. And I don't think at that time she thought that we were gonna do it to that level, Also too, like with the opening event, we had like the mayor come in, the senator, all of these different political figures at the space. And I remember the owners of that particular space, they were just saying that we haven't seen anything like this since the Barclays Center. Like, this is huge. But they didn't know, like, kind of the power that I have in, Brooklyn, New York, and the people that's, like, really backing me down. So she's seen that, and then she's like, it's got to be great for what we do over here in Baltimore, too, like, because she just know that we're the type of people, we're the guys that and women that are going to come out and do it to the best that we could, Whether we go to Baltimore, whether we go to Kansas, Atlanta, anywhere, like, what we're going to do is put our best foot forward and, like, really try to make it work the best that we could, and, like, I think she's seen that it was a team of us, too, like, Khalid, Al, Jen, and stuff like that. Like, these guys are really, like, trying, with whatever they have. It could be pennies, and they're going to turn it into, nickels.
Well, it was funny because when we were laying out the 6 shows, they were like, what do you want to do with the 6 shows? It's whatever you want. We're not going to push anything on you. And they're like, we have this Rollerwave coming down here. And I'm looking at the whole Mag Partners crew. Like, it's like 6 of them at the table. And I'm looking at them like, all right, are you pushing this on me or what? And they're like, all right, Aaron, we want this to drop in November. I'm like, no, we're not doing it in November. Like, we literally signed a deal in like literally October. And they were like, let's do it in November. I'm like, nah. Then somebody else like, let's do 200 people. I'm like, nah, we can't do 200 people. We gotta get this right first. Yeah. And then I looked you guys up, and then when I found out that you guys were like Black owned, and you guys are doing things, I was like, yeah, I need to celebrate that. There's no way, there's no ands or buts about it. That's how I am. However I roll, I try to support, and I see young brothers doing what they're doing out here. I'm gonna support you day in, day out, regardless what you're doing. And you're doing a spot where people can go and feel safe. Yep. You don't understand how that really, I don't go out at night like I used to. Even though you might see me on IG going out, I find the camera person and then I roll out. I don't stay all night. Unless it's with my library crew, but we ain't gonna talk about that. but all jokes aside, when they talked about you guys, I was like, all right, well, my videographer and I, we came down here, we walked the site. We're like, all right, let's check it out. And I was like, do I really want to do this? Because I was like, you're like, I can get any guests I want. Yeah. And I'm like, but I was like, let me just feel the vibe. And as soon as Khalid came in, I was like, oh, that sealed the deal right there. I was like, done. But I'm happy that we kicked it off with you. I wanted this to be a special moment because we're doing 6 shows. This is the first one. The second one is going to be Equitech Tuesday, Black Tech CEOs. And that's going to be in a bigger building. And that's going to be February. Then we're doing 3 Black female chefs in March. You might want to be at that one. That's going to be a dope one, too. So, and then we have a real big one in June that I can't tell you about. You might have to get a background check to go to that one. Just saying, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But we wanted to have you here kicking this event off. I know people are really ready to go skating. Some people brought their own skates. I saw they brought their own skates up here to roll and bounce and whatnot. But what do people expect to go down there when they go down there? What's going to be the vibe? The DJ going to be playing when they get down there? What's the vibe everybody's going to feel when they go down there?
I would just say just nostalgia, just going back into that time capsule of when you really felt joy, when you really listened to that music that your mom played on a Sunday and you was cleaning the house, that type of vibe where everybody in the family, we cooking, we doing everything. It's soul food, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I used to have to vacuum. You remember you had to put the potpourri on the floor and like, you had to, you know what I'm talking. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all act like I don't. And we had to bust the studs. We weren't no dishwasher. We were the original dishwasher. So I get what you're talking about. Like I play oldies but goodies in my car all the time. Like I don't really listen to too much new stuff because I just can't deal.
Yo, but Aaron, you know how your mom made it fun for you?
Yeah.
She made cleaning fun.
I mean,
No? Really? My mom did? My mom made cleaning fun. Like, we used to listen to the disco tracks. We had the tambourines. We cleaned it.
I don't know about fun
I'm
cleaning.
sorry, girl.
It was like, if you want to go outside, you better clean. So that was me. So you had to give and take everything. But I want to wrap this up in a beautiful bow because I know people want to go skating.
Yep.
We got my DJ Beezy back there. Beezy, he said he's going to play wants to hear some house music. Play some house music for us. You want to play a little house for us? We're about to play in a minute. Get ready. And I know you guys had a huge event. I'm going to say this wrong. It was a Taylor Swift event you guys a couple weeks ago. It was like a whole bunch of yelling kids. I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. So they are doing like community events. Is it WTMD? Is it who? Okay, so I did my homework.
Right?
I did my homework. WTMD, right?
Yep.
And they came in. It was a Taylor Swift thing, and there was a lot of people down there. It was sold out. So they had a lot of people coming down to. I call this Sim City. It's down here, but I know a lot of people. It is like Sim City. It's like it feels like Sim City if you know, but because you're like, you build your own city down here. It's pretty dope, though. I mean, when you walked in this room, you're like, where am I right now? Like, I heard probably about 15 people say tonight, am I in Baltimore City right now? And it was like a moment where you had to sit back. I remember when I first did a tour up here, I was like, where am I? I was like, I don't hear sirens. I don't hear anything. Like, this is like peaceful. Like it was a peace of mind. Like for a second, I was like, I feel like I want to move over here now. But I'm glad you guys are here, and we're doing this ceremonial toast at the end. Shout out to Lobos again. Lobos 1707 LeBron's Tequila. They are actually sponsoring all the shows this year. Thank you, sir. So, and Union Brewery also. Shout out Union Brewery, local brewery. Also King Collective. My guy back there from the Bloom. Shout out to one of the best bars in Baltimore, Bloom. If you go, best bar, one of the best bar. He is the best bartender in Baltimore. Go check it out. And thank you guys for coming. We're gonna do a little toast to the first night of us doing this live show here. And I will have my camera watching y'all skate and fall. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be on bloopers, okay? But now, all seriousness, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. You could have been anywhere. I normally don't do my shows on Friday nights because I don't want to fight Friday night lights. I like to do them on Thursday nights when you're like, it's to break up the week. I can do something, you know? But Friday night's a tough night, so thank you guys for being here. This sold out literally in 5 hours. And I didn't even put it out on the market. Imagine. So, cheers. We have cheers. Let's go. Thank you guys for coming out. Peace.
Never seen so many riches